Let's watch this 10-minute ViDoc here. This is doing all this makes me want to play Destiny. Yeah, you ready? I really hope there's no ads. I'm expecting some, so let's watch this together. All right, let's go.
Tyson, take one.
There's a line that emerged in Destiny 1. There's a line that emerged in Destiny 1 that wasn't planned for, but it was very deliberate by the person who put it in the game. And it's very resonant for Destiny players and resonant for me as a person. And that line is, Guardians make their own fate.
Yeah, don't make yourself a little.
That's still
a little smaller.
For me, that has sort of become a touch point for the Destiny story.
Creative director? Jason
Again
Green.
and again,
I don't know who that is. Actually.
External forces come and try to impose a fate upon you and humanity. And again, you show them that they can't do that. We make our own fate. That's not just a powerful theme of Destiny, it's also a powerful theme for us as people, as both developers and as humanity. We make our own fate.
Bam.
When you're talking about 10 years of story, there's a lot of stuff crammed in there, and there's a lot of things that we could do and could talk about. But as storytellers, the hardest part isn't coming up with the ideas, it's knowing which ones are the important ones.
The storyboards.
We want to tell a story that makes you, the player, feel like all of that time that you invested, we saw you, and we want to give you the experience that you've been waiting for.
We looked at everything we had. We laid it all out, like whiteboards and like everything.
We were trying to look for a theme that felt resonant, not just for this story, but for Destiny as a whole. And the theme that we kept coming back to was purpose.
Wait, was this?
And that's
this is the new light cutscene or something?
Is about.
I've never seen that cutscene. What the hell?
Not just for ourselves as the player, but also for our characters.
I used to think I'd give anything to bring you back.
I cried quite a few times doing those scripts because I treated it with the love of a fan. Every time I opened a script, I was like, what would I want to see? What would I want to hear?
You get to see their emotional journey, the struggle of how do we defeat the Witness.
You see some stuff? See some the final shape.
The Witness sees
exclusives or what?
As the one true God. So it's come to the Traveler because it needs the power of the Traveler's light to finish this vision.
Its goal is salvation. Why don't you want that?
Be reborn.
Our mission is to make sure that we can prevent it from getting the light, the thing that it needs, in order to make it all happen.
It's finally confronted the Traveler, and here we are, thorns in its side, a blip on its radar, trying to make a difference.
You're gonna speak to the Witness, and the Witness is gonna shine a light on some things, and you wonder, like, what would it be like? What would it be like to be a disciple of the Witness?
Your Guardian's use has yet to be determined.
Hey!
We're in need of a
salad?
Every time you hear the Witness, you're not just hearing one voice, you're hearing whispers in the background, you're hearing all of these other textures.
You're still resisting.
You can feel a subtext sometimes where the real Witness comes through, or at least things that it doesn't want you to know about it come through.
I don't like the vibe of it.
Putting characters into pressure cookers is what storytellers do best. And I can't imagine a more intense pressure cooker than
that looks really
the
good.
End of the world. If we fail, everything is frozen forever, and only we can do it. It's just the handful of us inside of a god.
Bow.
There were a couple of themes that we had when we
started. Yeah, they do.
Feel hard. The two main
they
ones
really do.
Surreal.
This is only part one, and there's another one tomorrow.
Seeing how they put a tiny little guardian at the beginning of this vast journey that's spreading out in front of you. really put into perspective the scale that we needed to hit in order to make the Pale Heart look and feel dangerous and ambitious and vast.
When we were
Why does she
thinking
look
of
like
surreal
Waldo?
things, it was a bit of a challenge because
She has the Waldo hat or the beanie.
For me, is putting familiar things out of context. What is the thing when you turn the corner that you are not expecting? So that's when we play with scale, we play with unexpected things, repetition.
There's this awesome piece of concept art that is like this massive ghost in the horizon, and you just like go over there and it's just like broken down in the middle.
Oh,
and it's just
wait, is
weird in a way
that got replaced order, right?
Unsettling, but at the same time feels
Or is
very
that like a
visceral.
real ghost?
Another
That's
one that we
huge.
used was body parts, and it sounds a bit strange because we didn't want to do body horror. So I was taking screenshots from the game and just trying to find
Body
silhouettes
parts.
and things that would look surreal. And I started replacing all the trees with hands. So all the limbs was made out of fingers coming out and eyes were on the
Yeah.
floor. And I do remember our direction was like that, like more hands.
Are there hands holding up the freeway in which we were born? Yes. You'll recognize it instantly, and then almost as quickly, you'll realize you've never been here before.
That's upside
I definitely
down.
feel like there's some aspects of the Pale Heart where like, this is freaking weird.
I can
and
see some
scary.
things being
I
like,
wanna
what
take that
the?
risk. I want to push a little bit
That's
of
different.
what expectations
That's really
of what
different,
destination
actually.
can be, and I hope that players love that.
As players progress, they get to see more influence of the Witness, not just on the Traveler, but also on the races that it's interacted with that we've seen so far.
The Dread are a result of the Witness experimenting with the light. So while it's inside the Pale Heart, it's able to access the light as it's trying to siphon it. It is using that light to create and alter new and different combatants. And so we've encountered some of these members before. Now we have a name for them.
The new Dread units. They're using a new language, collaborating with narrative. We went through and used this constructed language tool to generate different phrases,
What
to
does
figure
it
out
sound like?
grammar structures and other things. The
What?
pyramid language that the new
Dude,
Dread
that's
units
insane.
speak is actually translatable. So players, if they're really interested in figuring out what the pyramid
Yeah,
units
this
are saying,
shit
could
like this is so
decipher
cool.
these. Kos yen itget, baktoku vakad. The husks are an interesting addition.
That's
to
cool.
Destiny
Making up
because
languages
you've never
for
fought anything
a
like
game
them
is
before.
it's not easy.
We talked about, oh yeah, they need some big weapons. Like it needs to
Because
look
you
like
really have to go
this thing
deep
is
into
serious business. They wanted a bit of a
to
secondary
like making your
unit
own.
on it, so
You gotta get really deep into that, like how you
as the
want
sketches
it
were
to be
progressing,
portrayed,
we're kind of like, oh, this feels like it's sentient. And
how
we
you
just
want to
love the
sound
idea.
We had
through
all these
character to
different sound
character.
effects in our
So
library of
it's
water
just not an
bladders
easy
that make
thing.
some really cool sounds
But
when
it's a
you're
cool
shaking.
thing if you can
We
nail
used
it.
some sounds of slapping jello too.
Aw.
So that was kind of
Yeah,
the
that's gross.
foundation for the husk. We have all these real physical sounds that come together and it feels like an alien moving around in the stomach of this thing. The collaboration
It's like
between
Game of
the
Thrones,
different
yeah, it is.
disciplines and the trust we have for each other. At the end, it comes out better than anybody.
There are a
could
lot
have
of
made
games
it
that do that, but they don't really go further enough into it. Like maybe one character that has that
There's a moment where
language.
you realize, looking at the
but
final shape, that it's not just a story about the
make
Guardian's
it a
journey,
part of
it's
like a
also kind of the
whole,
story of
the
Destiny's
whole.
journey. It starts in a place of uncertainty and challenge.
Like it has to be really everywhere
and
to
then it changes and
make it
evolves, and it
impactful
proceeds forward into the unknown.
in the game.
And as you get closer to the final shape,
Like in
those
Final
two
Fantasy
experiences
14, they have like a
converge.
dragon
We
speak,
know where we're going. We know where we're aiming for.
and that's
I
it's
feel
always
very
been
confident
persistent
about
through the games.
love and the work
Ever
and the
since
thoughtfulness that
2015
everyone
or something like
working on
that,
this
when they
release
actually put
into
in
it. And I think it's
like dragon language.
inevitable that when people start going in and experiencing all these different things that make up this expansion, I think they're gonna see it.
I won't lose another soldier in this war.
Oh, that was good. Sheesh, that's so good. One more part, right? So one more part. There is one more. but that is tomorrow. Okay, let me. I can do this. That's cool though. This isn't what I was hoping for. I mean, ViDocs are usually getting into the story at the beginning anyways, getting to know how they came up with the concept of the final shape, and seeing a little bit more of where we're gonna be environmental wise, and seeing all the witness and stuff. But yeah, I think we're here. Let me see the next one. This one, so become legend, shaping the match. So this kind of, I feel like the next one, the shaping the magic, is going to be a little more focused on combat and what we can do with the prismatic subclass. I think, I don't know, it kind of looks like that from looking at the thumbnail. But yeah, I'm so excited for it. A lot of the cutscenes, especially this week, the new set of cutscenes kind of brought me back into the story again. I'm not gonna be playing It's a Clean Video. Talking about this. The ViDoc? Just here. Yeah, I'm gonna, yeah, it's edit it. Yeah, for sure. Kind of gets the viewer kind of into the behind the scenes and see why the developers are excited to have the final shape release. I do know it's been tough for Bungie for a couple of months now, almost a year. But it seems like a lot of people are coming back for the final shape though, so that's good to hear. And like, hopefully after the final shape, nothing bad is gonna happen to them. Okay, let's get to playing some games. I kind of wanted to spend the first hour seeing all the news with Destiny, the changes with everything.